This is the Scrap Metal Commodities Recycling Report by BENLEE, Roll-Off, Lugger, and Open-Top Trailers, and Raleigh Goldsboro Metal Recycling, April 11th, 2016. In this report last week, we saw major moves up in steel and down in copper. U.S. steel production came down a bit last week, but remains near its almost 6-month high. Production should increase in the months to come due to continued slow U.S. growth and imported steel continuing to decline. Oil rigs, which are major consumers of steel, had their count come down yet again as oil prices, while up a bit, remain severely depressed. The oil rig count is now down a staggering almost 80% from just 18 months ago. Scrap ferrous prices rose to $40 to $50 a gross ton, as we reported last week might happen. Some grades were up even more. This is about $1.75 per 100 pounds, and it's the largest one-month increase in many years. Hot-rolled coil steel prices are moving up as well and are at 5-month highs. Gerdau and Nucor announced major price increases last week. In the past 48 hours, there was a major global meeting of steel producers. The takeaway was the Chinese will remain trying to flood world markets with excess steel capacity for many years to come, which will continue to hurt the global U.S. steel industry. Stainless steel scrap prices remain stuck in a level that was somewhat above its low of about 5 months ago, but is going nowhere. Copper prices declined for the week and have given back more than half their gains since the multi-year low of January. Copper had increased about 40 cents since January, but in recent weeks it has declined about 22 cents from that high. This 5-year chart shows that in reality we remain near 7-year lows, but at least we're seeing some stabilization. This 5-year chart of copper inventories in the London Metal Exchange warehouses show they are at about 7-year lows. Low inventories should mean stable prices. Aluminum finished the week up, but actually about where it started, so no real movement. Looking at this 5-year chart, we see aluminum inventories that are about 7-year lows and are about half the level of 2 years ago. So again, that should bring stable prices. U.S. Steel, the second largest U.S. steel producer just behind Nucor based on 2014 production, announced they are laying off 25% of their salaried workforce. Imports into the U.S. at unfair prices were stated as the key reason for these actions. Ford announced last week that they're investing $1.6 billion in a Mexican plant to build small cars. Ford was actually clear months ago that they are all but getting out of car manufacturing in the U.S. in the next few years. They will only build a Mustang and a Lincoln, as well as trucks and crossovers in the U.S. Nationally, many companies are continuing to move manufacturing out of the U.S., which remains a very serious problem in having good middle-class jobs. As for some bad news, while things remain stable to a bit better for recyclers, we heard of a joint venture with more than a dozen operations had the majority owner lose control to the minority owner due to missing financial targets. As for good news, U.S. jobless claims were a low 270,000 in the last reporting week. That is the 57th week in a row that they were below 300,000. That is the longest streak of fewer than 300,000 a week since 1973. Also, 2.4 million people entered or re-entered the workforce in the past 6 months. That is the second largest increase in the labor force over a 6-month period on record. Lastly, we appreciated the dozens of you, including from New Zealand, Brazil, and Canada, that came to our BENLEE booth at the ISRI meeting last week and thanked us for doing this video report. This is our 13th month of reports, which are now being viewed at an annual rate approaching 60,000. My thanks to our producer, director, Tiffany Lucas, for making me look good and for telling me what to do. With that, we hope all have a safe and profitable week. My name is Greg Brown.